Check, check, check. Good, good. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you for this first edition of the Students Film Festival. This is the first edition, and we are delighted to have you around. It is a very nice festival, mainly targeting the students, and you are going to benefit a lot from this festival. So the students who are in this room, I want to welcome you to this session. Before I continue, I want to welcome the festival director to come and give us an overview of the festival. Welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and talented filmmakers. My name is Semi Vumbi Paul, a technical director of Rwanda International Film Festival, first edition. This festival is not about showcasing talent, it's about amplifying the voices that deserves to be heard. And the theme of this year is human rights. Before the starting of the panel discussion about human rights and film screening itself, I would like to thank Movie Matter, Movie That Matter as our sponsors, and East African University as our partners and the host of this event, and of course, all of participants who participated on this event to be done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that short introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very exciting moment. I want to give you an overview of what we are going to be doing at the moment. We are going to have about 45 to 60 minutes of panel discussions, and then after that, we are going to screen some films. After we screen some films, we're going to have a discussion again, and then we are going also to get questions from you, which we are going to respond. The theme of the festival this day is human rights. Film is a tool in society that can be used for social change. And we want to explore how students can be able to use this powerful tool to affect the society in which they are living. So it's just not for entertainment, but film is for edutainment. And because of that aspect, we are going to focus on the films that students have produced. Then we are going to analyze them, and then we are going to have questions. We'll have questions both here and online. There are people who will be watching us online. And we are going to take these questions, and the panelists together with me, we are going to be able to answer some of the questions, or to attempt to answer them. Now, this is how we are going to progress. I am going to start with, I have three panelists with me. First of all, on my far right is Manda Mzura. Some of you know Manda Mzura. Manda Mzura is an accomplished communicator. She is one of the lecturers here, heading at the Department of Mass Communication, and she's an expert when it comes to communication. And she is going to be one of the speakers who will highlight a little bit about how academic institutions can help strengthen the campaign of human rights in schools. And then after that, we have our second speaker. We have our other speaker, who is going to be Mr. Musangwe Jonathan. Mr. Musangwe Jonathan is the Human Rights First Rwanda. He is the representative of the Human Rights Organization here, He has a lot of information and knowledge on issues of human rights. So you're going to get first-order information from him. And on my, close to me, is Mr. Fidel Arelmana, and Fidel is from the Rwanda Film Federation. So students, you'll be happy today to interact with people from the Federation, and this is an opportunity for you to network. Film festivals are not just for coming there and watching films and listening to speeches. It is also an opportunity for you students to network. Through him, you are going to understand so much about the film in Rwanda and how the Federation works. So you are going to get a lot of information out of that, and how you can be able to utilize the Federation. Actually, I usually tell my students every time that it is very important to become members of film federations in your countries, because we are mixed. We are not just from Rwanda. So it is very important, wherever you come from, you become a member of the Film Federation. So, my name is Simon. I am the moderator for today. I am a lecturer, a film lecturer, and the head of department in the Department of Filmmaking and Film Production. So I want to welcome you for this session. I am going to give 15 minutes to each of the speakers. That will go to around 45 minutes. And then I'm going to give you 15 minutes to ask any questions that you could be having. So you should be noting down your questions, if you have any. And then we are going to take these questions at the end of the discussion. I want to start with our first speaker. And our first speaker will give us the perspective of the NGO world regarding the human rights. And sir, I want to humbly request you, for 15 minutes, you just give an overview of the human rights, so these guys may understand our topic today. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. I am Sangwa Jonathan. I'm an advocate lawyer. So I work with Human Rights First Rwanda Association. So I'm in charge of court representation for the vulnerables that we normally used to host when it comes to when they have some cases, issues related to the cases. So I'm the one who is in charge to handle them and giving some legal advices. So thank you, the moderator, to give me this floor. I may start by saying, what is human rights? That's what I'm going to take you through. So, as how the discussion will be progressed, so you will have some instincts about what is human rights. So, first of all, I may take you through about what is human rights. So, when you're talking about human rights, what do you understand first? So, human rights is a general, when we talk about human rights, it's a general, you can take in general perspectives, but there are some fundamental knowledge that you should know about it. So when you're talking about human rights, first you have to know it's a fundamental rights and freedoms that are entitled to anyone simply by the virtue of being alive. So if you are born alive, means that you are entitled to have that fundamental rights and freedoms. So you can ask yourself, first of all, you have to have the rights to life. So when you're talking about right to life, means that no one can, even you cannot surrender your life, or nobody can take away your life, or you cannot surrender to anybody. So when you're talking about human rights, so it should have some characteristics that should be accorded to it. First of all, when you are talking about human rights, we have seen that there are those fundamentals, rights, and freedoms that are entitled to anyone who is alive. So it means that your human rights can not be applied to for the matters which are basing on discrimination. Means that everyone who is alive should be treated equally. Everyone who is alive cannot be treated in unalienable way. When you talk about unalienable way, it's a real times when we normally used to say human rights are inalienable. In other words, in Rwanda we say navogerwa. Means that you should not be subject to any discrimination. And your rights, because you have born alive, you cannot surrender to anyone, or no one can come and take it away from you. So each person should be entitled to be treated with the respect and dignity regardless of the other circumstances. Means that even though you are born alive, there are some accorded freedoms and rights that will be accorded to you, that will be subjected to. So the most known as we can talk about some right to life, right to liberty, security of person, freedom of expression and opinion, right to work, right to educate, right to participate in government activities, protection against torture, discrimination, and arbitrary arrest. So those are the obligation of the government that has to do for the protection and promotion of human rights. So back to the topic of the day. So you can ask yourself, who is supposed to promote or who is supposed to protect human rights? I may say that, first of all, government, organization, or any individuals. When you're talking about any individuals, there are some people who are becoming activists by on the basis of their careers. When you talk about activities, even you who have the intention to just to make some film production which are based on promoting human rights, or some move production which are based to protect human rights. So, in other words, you have become an activist. So anyone who is involved just to make some protection or promotion of human rights should be done just to ensure the fulfillment of the rights of these rights that I have been talking previously, which are rights which are most known as the rights to life, rights to freedom of expression, right to liberty and security, freedom of assembly and association, rights to work, rights to education, rights to health, right to an adequate standard of living. So you must ensure that all of those fundamental rights that are ascertained to every human being, you should be the one just to protecting them and fulfilling them accordingly. So I may become, when we talk about you as a student, you are still in undergraduate studies, you are taking them. So you can ask yourself, what should I do just to contribute how should I contribute my intentions to make advocacy through film, through film. You may ask yourself, first of all, what am I going to do? Everything that you are going to produce as a filmmaker or from film producer doesn't mean it hasn't impact to the society, but there are some which could be matter more than others. As to the topic of the day, we are asked what should a student can do to contribute to human rights advocacy through film making. First of all, there is what is called raise awareness. Talking from the experience of the organization, when we talk about raising awareness, for us, we go to the field, we conduct some field outreaches. So when we are going to field outreaches, there is a community which is gathered. So from reaching there, we raise awareness. When we talk about raising awareness, it's like making legal education or human rights education. It depends on what we are going to do for that day. So you as filmmaker or film production, through raising awareness, you can make some documentary films that shed light on human rights issues. You can conduct some researches. You can conduct also some interviews with individuals and present a compelling narrative to raise awareness about the challenges that you found on field from those marginalized community. So I think the making documentary films could be a good way for raising your awarenesses depending on the intention that you have to the promotion of human rights. You can also tell personal stories. When you are going to tell personal stories, means that you can make some narrative films. You can reach someone who is facing some violations, someone who is his right is being abused. So when you approaching him or her, you can narrate her story. He can explain to you the issues that he is facing with, so you can narrating them. So after narrating them through film, can reach to the mass population. So another thing that you can do as a student, you can also collaborate with NGOs if you have that intention just to make some promotion or if you want to contribute to human rights promotion. You can also make some collaboration with NGOs, because in these NGOs, they have some experts. Even your story that you come up with from collaborating with NGOs, that story will have a credit, will be having some credible information, because no one will question your story, because your story will not cause any doubt, because it has been narrated or you have fetched it from people who have some experience from that work. You can also make some advocate for change. When we are saying advocate for change, there is a call to action. If you want to make a call to action, you can even make your story. After making your documentary story, at the end, you can also ask people to sign some petitions, just to, or if you are making some petitions, it will reach to a large number of people who will be attracted by your story. So, and I think from that time, the voice that you had before, you were alone. So the voice will be will no longer be a voice for one person. It will be a voice from a crowd number of people. So the more there is a big voice of people, the more you will be heard by the concerned or institution that you are addressing your issue to. So there is also another thing that you can emphasize on. It is to utilize social medias. As you know, we are now in modern world. If you are using social medias, your course of action that you are depending on, so or anything that you want to be addressed will be heard by right number, which will, from whom they will come and support you, or it will even goes directly to the ones that you are addressing your issues to. So another thing, it is organizing an event which is like this one that has been conducted, where you can make some screenings and workshops. And after making some screenings and workshops, it's better having some other discussions after that.
Our first speaker has 2 minutes to wind up.
So because from this discussion that is being conducted, it is when you can get some skills which are new to you. You will be equipped from those discussions. I think those are the things that you can do as a student just to promote your story, just to be heard by a right number of people, and in conformity of promoting human rights. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the information. I want to recognize the presence of our campus director. Can you welcome her into the room? You are much welcome, madam. I'm moving on to the next speaker. I'm going to academics. And because these are two people, we cannot have academics without a student. So I have the academic representative and I have a student representative. These ones will share 10 minutes. 20 minutes for them. So each of them will take only 10 minutes. So I want to welcome Madam Zura to give you hints on how we can use film and in academics to advocate for human rights. You're welcome, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Good morning. I don't know if I'll fit well in these shoes that I've been given, but I'll try my best. So I want to relate film with human rights and the intersection on education, activism, and storytelling. And all that is more on film. And how we should relate this with the human rights and film. First, we need to understand our educational framework. How is our curriculum? Does it recognize that it's an urgent issue that students need to incorporate or tell stories that are more human-friendly? So these modules should be able to encourage at least interdisciplinary, so that our students, when they're telling a story, they are not going overboard. They're able to incorporate storytelling and human rights. So they mind the sensitivity part of it. Then after that, we need to have the skills development. How do we make our students more skillful in the job market and are able to foster the technical know-how? So we bring the expertise in, and this is more of bringing expert guest lecturer to help lectures, the normal lecturing, and that is bringing the field outside from the field to classroom. So incorporating the two by telling the story at a professional way, and at the same time we are able to mine the skillfulness and the sensitivity of the matter. So where do we get these stories? So how do we relate with the communities? Again, our curriculum or our universities, are we doing, are we minding the how are we working with the non-governmental organization, community-based organization, and maybe faith-based organization in telling our stories? As our first speaker was talking more about the human rights, so how does the human right in this aspect come in, especially on the community and you telling that story? So the sensitivity of your story that is not biased, but again mines the human rights. And again, on this is going back to the curriculums or the modules that we have. Are they more on are we minding the Agenda 20 or the sustainable SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, where again human rights comes up very strong and the gender inclusion in it. So another thing is more on critical thinking and ethical consideration on sensitive trainings. So that when you're telling a story or when you're writing your scripts or when you're editing, you're more into the sensitive part, that you don't go overboard, or you tell the story in black and white without you framing things that will not be accepted in the community that you need to tell the story. So this is coming back again. That is why it's being related to the academics, because the training should start from class, whereby we are bringing, as I say, we'll bring experts from outside to come and more explain from their professional perspectives. I'm not saying your lecturers at that time are not professionals on that, but those that are practicing the filmmakers outside there, they have the eye that a lecturer in class will not be seeing, and so that is why we need to incorporate both, especially in the ethical consideration, and bring interdisciplinary training. And in this case, when we're talking about the interdisciplinary training, we are also incorporating people like lawyers to come in and explain more on the ethical procedures and what the law talks about filmmaking and human rights. Mr. Simon, I hope I'm still on time. So again, do our students have access to resources? And again, there's no film without the resources that are required. We need to make sure that our students are able to operate cameras, and at the same time, they are accessible at their own time. We've already known how to deal with the sensitivity part, but can they use the resources that they have? Or how will the experts from filmmaking, how will they give them an after training of what they've learned in class? Are they able to accept them when they're going for the industrial attachments, and they accept them to do film what they've learned in class, rather than maybe give...
Okay, this one will work. You have 2 minutes to write down.
Okay, sorry for that. So that rather than they being taken to do other, I'll call in this case, things that are not related to them, then We have the diversity and the inclusion. Are we able to include each and every professionalism in filmmaking? We know film.
Thank you very much, Madam Zuhura, and for that informative discussion on how we link film, human rights, and education. And I love film. You know, guys, film is one of the sweetest things in the world. I sometimes say that filmmakers are only people who are happy when everybody else is happy. Doctors would be happy when you are sick, they get more customers. I'm sorry if you are a doctor. Our lawyers will be so happy when you break the law. They'll stand for you. But for us, when we make people laugh, then we are happy. That is film. And that is why I love film. I have a student representative, and this guy also loves film. He's going to give us his personal experiences as a student. And so, I want to welcome him. He is going to represent all the students in this room and in film. So you have 10 minutes to speak. Welcome, sir.
Good morning to everyone here.
These things are their dying.
So, as I said, good morning. My name is Deng, I think. So, I'm here. I'm here I'm so happy because it's never easy to do this, but it's the only way out. So, about human rights. You know, human rights, I think, these are just fundamental rights or freedom that every individual should entitle, which is a must for everyone to have it. So, in relation to film, I can say human rights play like a crucial role in filmmaking because human rights is they promote diverse perspectives in different fields like social issues and what. In film, human rights as she talked about storytelling. No. Storytelling is a crucial human right to film. It engages.
Justin, this one will be good for you.
So it effectively conveys issues. So, as a filmmaker, human rights, like it's one of the things that a young filmmaker like me who is coming up should really put in mind because as a filmmaker, you have to give what is right, or you have to produce or give anything that is related to human rights, positive, not negative, so positively, yeah. So this requires also skills like researching and understanding. So I can say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for utilizing your time well. I am coming to our last speaker. This is a film professional. He is from the Rwanda Film Federation. How many filmmakers are here from Rwanda? Hey, even the students. I want to know the filmmakers from Rwanda. Can you raise your hands? I'm talking about filmmakers from here. Even the students who are doing film from Rwanda. Come on, I want him to see the people he is talking to. And that is why he is in this room.
Your students are not filmmakers.
Eh?
Your students are not filmmakers.
These guys they are letting me down. You are not filmmakers. Okay, my students from Rwanda. Yeah, this is a crowd of filmmakers in the next 3 years. Yes. They are going to come into the industry and you are going to meet with them so many times. I want you to speak to them, if possible, in very fluent Kinyarwanda. Very fluent. Because I want them to get the local film industry and how it works. So you're welcome.
The host translate for me. I need someone to translate. To Kinyarwanda to English. Okay. Swahili. No anyone speaks Swahili, no anyone speaks Nyarwanda. Inaweza. Jina langu naitwa Fideli Harelimana. Mimi Mnyarwanda. Nimezaliwa hapa Kigali. Tangu niende kusoma kuhusu na film.
Since I went to study film,
mimi nilikuwa nahusika na kuongea na watu.
I was used to be a motivational speaker.
Kabla uendelee kusoma kuhusu film,
before you progress into studying film
na kutengeneza film
and making films,
ni vizuri uwe mtu wa kuongea na watu.
It is important for you to be able to know how to communicate with people.
Filamu ni chombo cha kusaidia kuongea na watu na kuongea na mioyo ya watu.
Film is a communication that helps you to communicate with people and heart.
Wakati huu tunaongea kuhusu na haki za binadamu.
Right now,
nchi ya Rwanda imeharibika mwaka 1994.
In 1994.
Kitu kinasaidia watu kujua Rwanda ni film.
What makes people know Rwanda is film?
Kitu kinaeleza ukweli kuhusu kilichofanyika mwaka ule ni film.
The only thing that explains very well what happened that time is film.
Ni vizuri tuwe na moyo wa kuongea na mioyo ya watu.
It is important for us to have a spirit of talking to other people.
Hatuwezi kuongea kwa filamu wakati hatujui kama na kuongea na wakati sisi.
We cannot be able to communicate in film if we don't know how to communicate with people.
Hii eneo ni eneo nzuri.
This is a nice region.
Twaweza kujifunzia mambo ya kufanya nje au nchi zingine.
We can be able to learn how to do outside from outside and what we've been.
Wakati hujaongea na watu hapa kwa shule,
if you don't talk to others in school,
sijui kama ni TV hawezi kukupa platform.
I don't know where you get the platform.
Filamu ni wakati mzuri.
Film is a nice thing.
Inasaidia kufika na watu uweza kufika.
It can it's why you cannot be able.
Filamu yaweza kukutanisha na president. Filamu yaweza kukutanisha na minister.
Through film you can meet with the minister.
Waweza kuamka asubuhi
You can wake up in the morning
ukafikiri kama naweza nikaomba appointment ya kuongea na
and ask for an appointment to talk to the minister.
Appointment yote waweza kupata.
Not everybody can get that appointment.
Lakini sio mtu yote waweza kwenda kuomba appointment hiyo waweza kupata.
It's not everybody who would want to ask for that appointment and get it.
Mmesimama mna mahali ya kufika na kufikisha ujumbe kwa kusaidia watu kwa haki ya binadamu.
You are in a position where you can be able to reach people and enlighten them on human rights.
Binaomba muwe na moto wa watu.
I am praying that you have a heart for people.
Kama una moyo wa watu,
if you don't have the spirit to help people,
najua ukimaliza filamu unaenda kufanya zile video za YouTube.
You might finish film school and then you go and do bad films.
Mimi najua kama filamu zina hela nyingi.
I know a lot of money.
Sio kama zinakutanisha na watu.
It is not that it is to people.
Ni mahali waweza kufika ukafanikiwa.
It's a place where you reach and you can be sure you are going to be successful.
Tunaendelea kumalizia kwa hiki.
We are ending with this.
Kuna vikwazo fulani.
There are few problems or issues.
Mwaweza mkajua baada ya kumaliza shule.
Which you'll meet with when you finish school.
Kuna
license? License. Laziness. Laziness. Being lazy or yes, being lazy.
Unajua kama hutaki kwenda haraka sana kutafuta.
If you are not very outgoing to look,
filamu inatakiwa ufanye utafute.
You are supposed to go and look.
Sio kama unaamuka naendelea na kuongea kwa TV au kwa kamera.
It's not just talking about the TV on the camera.
Ni vizuri ufanye utafute.
You have to search.
Tunawakaribisha.
And we want to welcome you
kwa Rwanda Film Federation.
In the Rwanda Film Federation.
Kwa Rwanda Film.
In Rwanda Film.
Tumeandalia mambo mengi.
We have so many things that you have you.
Tuna ofisi inafungua kila siku.
Our offices are open every day.
Kama ni shida fulani.
If you have a problem.
Kama unataka kusaidiwa.
If you want any assistance.
Dadanga naongea kuhusu huwezi kufika mbali ukifanya wewe peke yako.
My sister said that you cannot reach far if you work alone.
Unataka ujuzi kutoka kwa wengine.
You need skills from other people. Technical skills.
Au watu wanaweza kusaidia kuchambua.
Or people can help you to analyze or criticize.
Kwa sababu mara nyingi tunafikiri sisi peke yetu.
Because sometimes you think us.
Naweza nikafanya vile peke yangu.
We can do it by ourselves.
Kwa filamu huwezi kufanya hivyo.
In film you cannot.
Unataka watu waweze kusaidia kwa editing.
You need people to help you to do it.
Kama ni script.
If it is writing a script.
Yawezi kusaidiwa kwa watu wakaangalia vile unavyoandika kama ni ukweli.
People should look at your script and say if what you are writing is okay.
Kama ni final product.
If it is a final product.
Kabla uoneshe watu ni vizuri utakie watu wale wakusaidia kuangalia.
Before you give it to the people, you need to call people to come and watch it to help you.
Najua mtabarikiwa kufanya kwa filamu.
I know you'll be successful in film.
Asante.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is the last one from the end of the Rwanda Film Federation, and you can get in touch with them. I said this is a networking opportunity for you students. You should get in touch with them. They have their offices at Kiro, IPRC. Yes, their offices at IPRC. That's where they have their offices. In case you want any guidance, if you want some of the roads that you need to follow, when you are shooting around, you need to talk to them. As another thing, I'm sorry.
Mimi peke yangu nina shule ya kusaidia watu wale hawajafika mbali, hawajamaliza shule.
He himself has a school that helps people who have not completed school.
Tunafundisha watu kutengeneza story.
They teach people how to make stories.
Tunasaidia watu kutumiza vile vifaa vya kukamata picha.
They teach people the technical skills of doing their films.
Kama umemaliza shule hapa,
if you finish school here,
ujasikie vizuri, kama unataka mazoezi zaidi,
if you want more practice,
ukamate simu yangu,
you can get his number.
Waweza tukakusaidia kufika mbali.
Maybe you can connect later.
Asante.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much for this opportunity. We are going to the next step. The next step will be screening of films. So we are going to screen films from students, and then after screening films from students, we'll have an opportunity to get feedback about the films, and most importantly, how these films address human rights. So we are going to have a screening session in a short while. I am waiting for my technical directors there to organize a screening session so that we can be able to start the next part. In the next few minutes, we shall be having it up and going. Meanwhile, let me say that this festival is intended to enlighten you on how to use film for social development. And this type of film, we call it film for development. So you use film not just for entertainment, but you use film for education and at the same time for entertainment. That is what we call edutainment. So we are going to get out of this place, and we are going to start the screening of the films so that we can be able to progress. So this time we are going to utilize it to watch some of the films that have been done by students. And I'm saying that this is the first edition of the International Students Film Festival. I'm sure in the coming years we are going to have a lot of films, and we want to encourage you students, when you're in school, you start making your films right away, because this festival is intended to showcase your work. And when you showcase your work in this festival, you start getting your portfolio. When I tell you in class, it is very important as a filmmaker to have a portfolio. A portfolio is a list of films you have done. So we are getting that opportunity today. I am waiting for the technical team to signal me and to tell me that they are ready. And once they are ready, we are going to start with the first film. And then towards the end, we are going to have a session of a question and answer session towards the end of the show. Thank you very much. When the lights are off, they tell me to sit down and be quiet. Enjoy watching. Thank you.